TV. So, what can I say? Say I reckon this comes with age, but the older I get, the more I can just take a breather, relax, and just assess Liverpool's current situation in a bit of a more calmer and a more I say considerate, but more structured way. Now, I wasn't the only Liverpool fan yesterday. Hi, Mark. That was a little bit frustrated by watching the game. But then what I seen was, I'm going to compare this to a boxer. Do you know when you was watching them famous boxers, like the Mike Tysons, the greats of the boxing world, and you see them doing one more fight, and they do that extra fight, and it's heartbreaking to watch because they're gone. They're basically physically they're done. Liverpool yesterday is the final nail in the coffin for me in terms of there's no coming back now for 6 or 7 of our players, and I'll tell you why. I love them to bits. I really, really do love them to bits, and this is the reason why I'm going to give them the full respect that they deserve, because they do deserve that for what they've won us and for what they've done for Liverpool Football Club in the last 6 years. But Fabinho's done. He's completely done. His timing of the tackle's off. He's just giving away cheap fouls. I think it's so unbelievable that this has happened so fast, and I'll tell you why it's happened so fast. The owners get the stick for it. I understand that. The owners get the stick for it. But ask yourself this question. The owners bought Oxlade-Chamberlain, right? The owners bought Naby Keita, right? The owners got Arthur Melo. If you look at Sabitzer, that's playing for Man United, he's played every game. The owners need a little bit of luck, the same way Jurgen needs a little bit of luck. Now, they all sing from the same hymn sheet, right? Jurgen, John Henry, Tom Werner, all of them, they sing from the same hymn sheet. And that is, we don't panic buy, we're structured in the way we go out about our business, and we more or less will wait for our targets. Now, you could say Liverpool waited a year too long, but it's the injuries. I've told you this, and I've said this from day one. I study football, and it's been amazing listening to the noises coming out of Manchester United over the last 2-3 weeks. And do you know what they're saying? We've got injuries. That's why we're not good enough at the moment. We have got no Eriksen. We have got no, Casemiro. We've got no this, that, and the other. The players that are out. They're just reeling off names of players that would play for them that are out. Liverpool have had, without a shadow of doubt, the worst injury list this season, bar none. Nobody has had the injury list we've had. Now, the reason why I'm using this as an excuse, is because it is a fucking excuse, right? If you lose your best players, like Luis Diaz, for 5 months, you lose Jota for 3 months, you lose Van Dijk for 2-3 months, you lose Firmino for 3-4. Firmino was on absolute fire until he got injured. Absolute fire. So, what I'm saying to you, another thing Man United fans have come out with today, including Alex Crook, who's a reporter on TalkSport, he was saying that basically, that the players are tired. They've played more games than anybody. What? Are you seeing the amount of games that our lads have played? And do you know what does my head in the most? Is this. Look, I understand you're entitled to your opinion as a football fan, and you are. But I've actually been reading some of the people that want Jurgen Klopp to leave, right? I've been actually reading some of their reasons behind it. And if you look at it in terms of results, and you look at it in terms of he's struggling to find a way for us to win, then you've got a valid point. If you think Klopp needs to I wouldn't say go, but there's the conversation to be had that things ain't working. I get that. But what I hate about the ones that are saying that he needs to go is they're not even going to give him an opportunity to put it right. They're not even going to give Jurgen this summer. They just want him gone. And who are you bringing in, by the way, when you want to get rid of Jurgen Klopp? And don't you think that Jurgen Klopp deserves the chance to put this right? That's my argument with the people that say Klopp out. Klopp out is the most disgusting and embarrassing thing up there with FSG out that comes out of some of our flipping fans' mouths at the moment. FSG out, Klopp out. Every time we fucking draw or lose a game, it's embarrassing. And I'm sick of it. And this is why I've stopped doing videos as on a regular occasions as I used to. Because it just gets my blood pressure up. I cannot understand where these fans come from. How have they got into our fan base? How have they got into our fan base? We are not a bunch of glory hunters. That's Manchester United. They've been throwing £1 billion at trying to win trophies for years. Liverpool have always been run as a proper business. This is what makes me laugh about Man U chasing state-owned money. What for what? You spent more money than anyone anyway, and you spend more money on wages than anyone anyway. So what the fuck do you need fucking state money for? So my backup and my problem with the people that want Jurgen Klopp to go is they ain't even got the decency to even give him the summer to wait and see if he can start, you know, the next Liverpool. Don't get me wrong. If we go and spend 250 million this summer and Klopp then goes and has an absolute shocking season and we don't get in Europe, I still won't want him gone. But I can understand people if they say, look, it's time now. But you don't do that now. You don't call out the best manager we've had in 30 years. Call him out to go, pack his stuff like he's done nothing for us. People like that, they're not fit to even be a Liverpool supporter. Because if you're a Liverpool supporter and you sing You'll Never Walk Alone, yet the minute there's a storm coming, you want people to get out, you have got no clue on how to even support this football club. And this is the difference why we are different to Man City and Arsenal and Manchester United, is we've seen bad times and we've seen great times, but we always stick together. Even under Rafa, you know, we stuck together, and Rafa eventually got fed up and went. What does my head in about these people that want Klopp to go, saying he's clueless, he's tactically inept, this, that and the other? You know, they're not even going to give him a chance to put it right. And then you've got the people that are FSG out. I mean, how many more times do we need to lose a game this season or draw a game, and the first thing people say is we need new players? We fucking know we need new players. Every single supporter on the planet, every single backroom staff member, every single board member, every single person at the club knows we need new players. But we cannot sign anybody until the summer. So what is the point in all the bullshit about we need new players? It's just stupid. But what does me head in the most is the people that are absolutely hammering some of our lads like Fabinho, like Henderson, like Trent, as if they've done nothing for this football club over the last few years. I'll tell you who's done nothing for this football club over the last 5 years. People like Naby Keita, that's been picking up a fucking ridiculous amount of money every week and just jogs about the pitch wearing the iconic number 8 shirt and doesn't even bust a sweat and even gets injured fucking sitting down eating his dinner. They're the people that deserve a bit of grief. Them ones, not the ones that have put every single bit of blood, sweat and tears into this football club for the last 5-6 years. That's what bothers me. So what I'm saying is Jurgen Klopp deserves the opportunity to put this right. And if you're Klopp out now, you are the same people that are FSG out. You're an absolute bunch of plastic fans that completely can't handle drawing or losing football matches because you're just in it for the glory. And I'll tell you this, what will happen, because this happens at every football club. We will not finish into the top 4 this season by the looks of it. And I guarantee you, every single fan that has been going for years and years and years that cannot get a ticket for love nor money, well, guess what? They'll be able to get a ticket next season. And do you know why? Because it won't be full of glory hunters that take tickets when Liverpool are right up there and won't take tickets to support Liverpool because they love the club. And I say this, and I always say this, I love this club and I will fucking die for this club. And I would go and watch them. If I could get a ticket for every game, you know, financial reasons or whatever, if I could go every game, I would go if we were in the fucking National League. I would go if we were in the Vanarama North, because I've done it. I've done it for Liverpool. I've worked for AFC Liverpool. I've done it all. Right? What I'm talking about is this club is in my blood, like it is most of the 99.9% of our fans. And there's that percent that are having, you know, the team lineup goes up on fucking on the club's website and it's getting laughing emojis and angry faces at players. It's embarrassing. I hate social media. And I'll tell you something now, if I could go back to the 90s again, when we used to watch Liverpool with like McManaman and Fowler and Barnes and Rush and Stiggy Bjornaby, Neil Ruddock, John Scales, all them lads that were just, you know, we had idolised them, and you watched the game on the telly and you didn't have to do all the nonsense on TikTok, Twitter and fucking all these plastic fans with a voice that are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 miles away that haven't got a clue. Because what they're the fans that I'm calling out for Klopp out and the fans that I'm calling out for FSG out, I guarantee you, if it was a fucking midweek away game at Stoke in the Championship, they wouldn't go. And they wouldn't go. It's the fans that give a shit that go every week. The fans that are priced out of it that they can't go every week. They're the ones that I want in the football ground this Sunday against Arsenal. Because it's all this narrative going about that yesterday was a bad result. We drew away at Chelsea. Let's not forget they've just spent £600 fucking million on players and got lads in the midfield that have cost 115 million. And you want us to go there and win 3 or 4-0? You know, fuck's sake. Chelsea away used to be a right hard game for us to go to. We'd normally get beat there. I remember the days of Drogba and Shevchenko and all that. They used to always beat us there. You look at it like this. If you think of it, right, say if we looked at these 3 games individually, forget the season because we needed the 9 points. Say if you looked at these 3 games individually, lost to, who was it at the weekend? Lost to Manchester City, which is the toughest away game of the season. Drew with Chelsea away. So if we go and beat Arsenal now on Sunday, we've got 4 points out of a possible 9. And you look at it like this. What if we'd have drawn all 3? Would that have been, you know, a good set of results? Yeah. It would have been less points. We'd have got a point less. My point is this. Is Anfield is our saving grace now. I'm not saying we will finish in the top 4, but it isn't fucking over. It's not over. Because Anfield is a different kettle of fish. And out of the last 10 games, right, 6 of them are at Anfield. 6, right? And the other 4 games are winnable, right? If we can just beat the big teams at home now, we give ourselves a chance. And here's another thing I'll say, right? The players are exhausted. I'm just reading your comment there, Darryl. They are. They've been completely ran to the max. By the way, everybody, I'm going to read out your comments. Each and every one of them after I finish my little rant that I love doing, because it pisses me off the state of our fan base at the moment. You know, what fucking these people are paying for fucking aeroplanes with FSG out over Anfield, and even the locals don't even know who's doing it. Who are these people? Who are these people paying for planes to try and get owners out of a club they probably come and support twice a season? It just really does me head in. I've told you this, and I've told you this from day one. I am not FSG in for everything. Their fucking ticket prices are tweaked a little bit, but were a joke at one point. Their merchandise is an absolute disgrace, and I've not bought from the club for at least 3 or 4 years now because I refuse to. I can't work for Affordable Football Club Liverpool and then pay 300 fucking quid for a jacket. No chance. So don't think I'm an FSG inner and I love them to bits, because I don't. But what I do see is an absolute unbelievable football manager in charge of our club. I've seen us win every fucking trophy possible. Plus, I've seen Anfield remarkably changing from every single season. Look at it now. That new away end is incredible. Incredible. I had the fortunate thing of being at the Celtic game last week, and it was brilliant, right? What do you want from this season? I'll tell you what, top 6. Take that every day of the week. Oh, why is that? Because it's not Champions League. What's fucking wrong with being in the Europa League for 1 season? Oh, is it too good for us? Is it fuck? Because I'll tell you something now. Some of the best fucking games in my lifetime was Dortmund at home. Barcelona, when Gary McAllister scored the penalty under Gerard Houllier. Roma, when Gerard Houllier was manager. Then you've got games that we had against Manchester United, the double header, brilliant games, home and away at Old Trafford. Manchester United have played Barcelona in this shit. Yes, there's some shit teams in it. There's shit teams in the Champions League. All I'm saying is, where does this spoiled brat We're too good for all this shit come from. Because it doesn't come from the fans that were in the piss down rain in Stoke when we're getting beat 6-1. It doesn't come from the fans that seen Roy Hodgson. It doesn't come from the fans that seen David and Gog up front and John Joe fucking Shelby in midfield. It comes from fans that are spoiled, that play too much FIFA and too much fucking Football Manager. And that's what pisses me off. And that's the only thing that bothers me about these new breed of football fans. These are the same people that licked Todd Bowley's arse for spending 600 million. And guess what these fans are now doing? They're phoning up TalkSport going mental because Todd Bowley never bought a striker. Fair enough, they should have bought a striker. But where did he think this endless bit of money keeps coming from? Chelsea have now got to sell up to £250 million worth of players, including academy products like Gallagher and Mason Mount, to balance the books, and they've bought a load of shit. Money getting thrown doesn't guarantee you success. Everton Football Club are going to be dot points. They spent £600 million and don't have a thing to show for it. Chelsea, £600 million, don't have a thing to show for it. Manchester United, £1 billion. £1 billion. They've got a League Cup to show for it in 6 years. It's not just about FSG going out and spending 600 million, right? It's not just about that. It's about Liverpool being clever in the market. Like we've always been. Joel Matip on a free, James Milner on a free, Andrew Robertson for 7-8 million quid. You know, marketing the deals, getting these players. We got Sadio Mane, Firmino and Salah for less than what Manchester United paid for Anthony. It just does me head in, and I'm sick to death of football because at the top level I really am, and I'm going off it a little bit. And here's a classic example: Chris Wood for Nottingham Forest is on 100 grand a week. Chris fucking Wood is on 100 grand a week. The lad gets about 2 goals a season. He's a bang average Burnley sort of centre forward, and he's pulling in 400k a month. Football at the top level now is getting ridiculous, and our fans are getting ridiculous. Not all of them, not the ones that go every week that I see, not the lads that pack Anfield out week in week out, not the ones that absolutely love the club, but there's an absolute spoilt brat mentality now at every football club. I mean this Glazers out bollocks every time Man United don't win a football match, but yet they'll go and they'll probably go and spend fucking 250, 300 million in the summer. You know, it's just well, because they haven't built us a new stadium. That's going to cost £1 billion. Mind you, they are probably the worst example because they are shit owners, really, considering the fact the club's £1 billion in debt. But all I'm saying is we could get the Glazers next. I don't mean them exactly, but if we could get another, you know, bunch of people like that, we could get the Saudis. You know, and where does Liverpool go from there? A socialist sort of city, a socialist place, a place that believes in, you know, the rights for human beings and stuff like that. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And the reason why I say it does me head in is because where does it stop? I mean, Liverpool now are under pressure, and what I worry about is they're going to go against their successful transfer strategy. They're going against it. They said we can't do it anymore. We're going to have to go big. Well, they best get it right, because we don't want 3 Naby Keitas bringing in. I mean, can you imagine that? Because Liverpool are not state-owned. Liverpool do not have the ability to go and do what Manchester City do. And obviously Chelsea with Todd Bowley, he's just an absolute crazy yank. And that's not worked out well for him. I mean, can you imagine spending 600 million quid and you can't score a goal? Just repeat what I just said there, right? 600 million pound on players, and Chelsea can't score a fucking goal. I mean, what do you need then to get goals? Another 600 million? What's that? 1.2 billion? I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. And I'm sorry for ranting, but I start off calm, but it annoys me. It annoys me when I see fans that would sacrifice the future of the football club we love to win another trophy. I'm not bothered. I love winning trophies, but if Liverpool have to go in the Europa League for a couple of seasons, right, and we have to rebuild, I quite enjoyed it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you the truth. I really enjoyed the start of Jurgen Klopp's era at Liverpool. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching I was actually at the first game against Sion Kazan, sorry. I think we had Kazan, Sion and Bordeaux in our group. And I remember Klopp being on the sideline for his first game. And I remember we had Emre Can in midfield. And we had like Benteke and Coutinho and Lallana and Mignolet in goal. And we had Nathaniel Klein at right back. And we had Moreno at left back. And we had Lovren and Sacco. And I actually loved the fact that Klopp then turned it into the team that he's turned it into. And I don't mind going through that again. I'm sorry, I don't. I really don't. I mean, I look at it like this. I think to myself, yeah, I really enjoyed it. The Dortmund game was out of this world. I'm sorry, I was behind the goal. I was in the Anfield Road end. That was one of the best games of my life. One of the best games. In fact, probably the best game, along with the Man City 3-0 in the Champions League. I love that. But that was the best game of football that I've ever watched at Anfield in my life. I was at the Olympiacos game. But that was the best game. It was entertaining. I mean, and do you know what? People annoy me saying, I don't even want us to finish in the top 6 because I don't want to be in the Europa League. They're just spoiled bastards. So what you're saying is you want Liverpool next season to just be in the league and domestic cups. How fucking boring. You don't want us to get a tie like Man United got this year where we got Barcelona over 2 legs. And you don't want us to get to a final. A final of a trophy that Klopp's... The only trophy Klopp hasn't won is the Europa League. Right? And do you know what does me head in about them fans? They're basically saying that all the trophies we've won in the past under Gerard Houllier and Rafa Benitez and stuff like that, basically they're a load of piss. They're a load of shit. Not worth winning. They ain't got a clue. Because Liverpool should always be in European finals. And also, we are going to need... This is the strongest the Premier League has ever been, right? And I was listening to Game Day podcast. Absolutely fantastic. You want to listen to it. Sam Matterface, Alex Crook, and the European football expert. And they do it every Monday. And Sam Matterface is brilliant. And he actually came across great. He said, people need to look at Liverpool this season. And they need to look at Chelsea. Because if you think you have a divine right of being in the top 4 every season, them days are over. Because I'll guarantee you now, every couple of seasons, one of the top 4 will miss out on the Champions League for a couple of years. If it's Tottenham, or it's Liverpool, or it's Man U, or it's Chelsea, or Arsenal, possibly not Man City, they're probably the only one. But every one of them clubs, you cannot get 6 into 4. It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible. You can't get 6 teams to finish 4th. So 2 are going to miss out. So what I'm saying is the Premier League is so competitive, you might have to bite your lip and finish in the Europa League for a couple of seasons. That's the way it is. So, do you know what? It's just one of them. So what you do is you bite your lip, and then you look at it like this. Next year, we're going to need to be in Europe for players to come and play for us. Jude Bellingham won't mind playing in the Europa League for a season because he's just done it. He's just done it now with Dortmund. Because he's playing in Europe. Jude Bellingham wouldn't come to us if we wasn't in Europe. Can't even play. That's what being a football player is all about. But another thing, winning the Europa League gets you into the Champions League. So it's like everybody wants to finish 4th, but wouldn't you rather get into that competition with a trophy to show for it? That's the Europa League. So what I'm saying to you is, I want us to finish in the Champions League. Of course I do. But don't be snobbery. Don't be looking down. And even next season, if we are in the Europa League and all the banks go, ha ha ha, hang about twat, you were in it last year. And you loved it then. So it's just one of them. You can't be a snob. And this is the way it's going with top level football now. It's like Champions League, nothing, everything can get stuff. World Club Cup. I mean, people rave about the World Club Cup. I mean, the teams you play in that, would probably win the fucking Papa John's trophy. It just does me head in. And it goes back to everything I say. Snobbery, plastics, and people that are just playing too much FIFA. I mean, it's like... Every time John Henry comes out on this group or on other groups and he says I'm gonna back Jurgen, I'm gonna spend big. I mean, how big is it in their eyes? What's big to them? Todd Bowley big? 600 million? Is 200 million not enough? I would rather, and I've said this, and those that listen to my videos know I've said this, I would rather Liverpool brought in quantity rather than one decent player, right? One decent player. And I just read the comment about the conference competition. We're not going to finish that low. We will finish top 6 Liverpool. We've got 6 games out. I mean, come on. Are you saying that Liverpool are not going to we're going to lose every game more or less to the end of the season. Liverpool will win 5 out of the next 6 at Anfield. I guarantee it. Probably get a draw against Arsenal at the weekend. If not, we've got Tottenham to play there. The rest, they're all games that we should take care of ourselves. At Anfield, we're a different kettle of fish. We should win all 6. If we win all 6 at Anfield, we only need to win a couple away from home and draw a couple. We could finish 4th. But I can't see us finishing as loads of Europa Conference League. I can't. I just can't see us finishing in that. But it is what it is. But but if we do, we do. It's no different. I can't see it sit here and say we can't turn around, get to the Europa Conference League. It's a European trophy. Win it and get on with it. We want to win the Community Shield when we're in it. I know we're not bothered about it, but we want to win it. The ones that don't want to win it don't go to the finals. You ever been to a final before, even if it is the Charity Shield? You don't want to lose because you've got them fans that are taking the piss out of you and singing, and like the Man City fans, you've got to be competitive. Even as a supporter. And you can't be competitive if you're not in competitions. So with me, it is what it is. And it goes back to what I always say. I used to love going on social media. Not love it, but I didn't mind it after a Liverpool game because you could listen to the analysis. You could dissect it yourself, get your own information out of the performance. But now, if we draw a game or lose, I should just come off it for a bit. Because rival fans think I've come off it because I'm hiding from them. I'm not. I'm hiding from my own fans because they piss me off that much. Oh, this is ridiculous. Get him out. Get him out. He needs to go. Klopp needs to go. He doesn't know what he's doing. Get him out. We need new owners. These people want to change owners like a striker that's out of form. Let's change owners like we change managers. Let's just change everything. I tell you what, let's just win every single week. If we draw, get home, get out, you're gone. And it's just not good enough. And that's what doesn't get it. Yesterday was a bore fest. It was a crap game, shit performance, I agree. Everyone was poor, apart from Curtis Jones, really, and possibly, I don't know, Alisson a little bit. They were poor, but we still drew the game. But honestly, if you'd have gone on social media, you'd have thought that we'd lost 10-0, 7-0, 6-0. Can you imagine our fan base if Man U beat us 7-0? Fucking hell, don't even bear coming to. But, I'm going to go through your comments in a minute, but it's deflating. And it's deflating because these fans... Jurgen Klopp is the best manager I've ever had in my lifetime. I love him. He's flipping so down at the moment. It's killing him at the moment, this isn't. And can you imagine being pelted by your own fans? And it's just not fucking good enough. It really isn't. This man gave us our first league title in 30 years. He gave us the memories. I don't think people are going to realise how iconic that Fab Three was. Of Marnie, Firmino and Salah until probably 10 years time when we look back and go, how fucking good were they? That was his football. So you're telling me you'd rather someone else come in that's not Jurgen Klopp and play pragmatic football like Conte trying to nick us 1-0 and that, when we've had Jurgen that's going all out attack, heavy metal football, go for it, Fab Three, rotating, gegenpressing. I want to see the next Klopp team. And I've said this before. Borussia Dortmund regret it to this day. Their chief executive said the worst thing we ever did was get rid of Jurgen. We should have got rid of the fucking team first. This is what Liverpool are going to do. They are going to get rid of the team and keep the manager. Because I want to see the next Marnie, Firmino and Salah, which will be Nunes, Gakpo, and possibly a different striker up front, or Jota, who might get more once we have more in midfield. If you think of Mount, Gravenberch and possibly Bellingham in midfield next season, can you imagine the goals that Nunes and Gakpo and all that would be getting? Can you imagine Gakpo and Nunes with a pre-season behind them, a proper one this time, all learning how to play with each other? All these things are going to happen soon. And I'm sorry for ranting, and it's only at 5% of the fan base, but it's because the title to this video is Walking Through a Storm. But when you walk through a storm, especially at a club like Liverpool, you go through it together. You don't completely destroy the people. Don't say, they don't read social media. They fucking do read social media. Because Darwin Núñez had to get his head back on the ground for reading it too much. Harvey Elliott has come out and said that he thanks the fans and not the ones on social media that are hammering all the players. James Milner said the same. So they do care and they do read it. And honestly, if you're a Liverpool fan for the glory, well, you're just a glory hunter. That's it. You've got to be a Liverpool fan for the whole duration of your life. It's like it's like a family member, your blood, and your blood for life. Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, whether they're going for a bad spell, whether they're going for a good spell, it's your family, it's your life, it's your blood. That's Liverpool to me. I work my life around Liverpool. Always have done. You know, if Liverpool are playing on the Saturday, I'll make sure I finish work early. It's just the way it is. My life is all about Liverpool Football Club and being in it. And Jurgen Klopp is, you know, there'll be a statue of that man outside Anfield one day, and I can't wait to take my kids to it, my grandkids or whatever it'll be. Anyway, I'm going to go through all the comments. So I've had my little rant and that, and you know, it is what it is. Spoilt brat fan base, and it's just getting worse. And if we don't win every week, then, you know, they sort of go away. And if we win, if we lose, you can see them all crawling back out again under the fucking fake banners and the fake planes and all that shit. But it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to go through all the comments now and get answering some questions. And Mark Fexton, how you doing, mate? We need a couple of midfield players. You'll never walk alone. Well, you'll never walk alone, Mark, mate. Les Coppite, good evening, Neil. Good evening, pal. Scott Hunt, we're not allowed to use injuries as an excuse. Even some fans I spoke to today saying we can't use injuries. I know, Scott, exactly. I mean, and now Man United, yeah, but you know, it was the Man United fans saying that before they got injuries, and now guess what they're using? Injuries as an excuse. I mean, even Ten Hag coming out saying that, you know, fucking, it's embarrassing. I mean, some of the shit, they believe he's the Messiah. I'm not being funny, he won the League Cup playing nobody, right? Even Newcastle in the final, but he played League One and lower division Premier League clubs to get to, and all at home, by the way. This is a stat for you: 10 domestic cup draws. Man United have been drawn at home in all 10. How fucking fixed is that? So they've had all the luck, and they still only won one cup, and it just does your head in. But that's football fans for you. Anyway, Scott should be ashamed of themselves wanting Klopp out. Totally agree. Darren Hooks, exhausted players. Look at us. Played max amount of games possible last season. Chelsea played almost as many. West Ham played more than they normally would. All have suffered this season. Depth of squad a factor, as well as Jurgen. We trust. Totally agree, Darren, mate. I've been ranting all day, mate. Scott, I'm the same, mate. I can't help it. As soon as I get going, it's just like a train in full power, because it winds me up. Because these fans, I'm telling you the truth. Everybody watching this video now, I am telling you the truth. Next season, you will not have any problems getting tickets for games. You won't. Especially in Europa League, you'll be able to go to every single game. Here's a true story what happened to me, right? So I went to the group when Jurgen Klopp joined Liverpool. I went to his first game against Kazan, right? Got a ticket for that. It's only Kazan, no one, you know, there's plenty of tickets left, got a ticket for it. So then Liverpool had that ticket philosophy where you'd be able to get the next one. So I went to the next game, went to Sion, went to the next game, went to Bordeaux. We then qualified for the knockouts. I went to the Villarreal match. I went to, I think it was Manchester United. So I went to every single Anfield game, running right up to the Europa League final. Right, went to every game. Following season, Gino Wijnaldum scored the goal that got us into the playoff of the Champions League, didn't it? Remember when we played Hoffenheim? So I got a ticket for the Hoffenheim game, Champions League qualifier. We qualified for the Champions League. I then went to all the group stage games in the Champions League, because I've got this continuous run of not missing a game. We got Man City in the knockouts. I went to get my ticket for the Man City game. Guess what happened? Got declined. Couldn't go. Why? Because UEFA had gave a bigger allocation to their officials. I think they gave them 3,000 tickets. So people that wasn't there for Kazan, Sion, Bordeaux, all the shit games, right? I was, but yet the minute it comes to a big game, a Champions League game, Man City, Pep Guardiola versus Klopp, the lad, the working class lad, the lad that pays out of his wages, couldn't go because glory hunters and people that just come for the big games were put ahead of me. And that was when I started declining and going to football matches at the top level, because it pissed me off that much. And that is exactly what will happen next season. You will be able to go to every single Europa League game because other people, they don't care about who we play at Anfield. They just want to go to the big ones. Not the core of the fans, but the glory hunters. And that's what happens. That's always going to be the case. So what does my head in is, I would follow this football club if it was playing in the ninth tier of English football, and I would, and I don't care who they're playing. I went down to the Legends game last week and watched some of our lads playing that are in their 50s. Do you know why? because it's a team I love with a live bird on their chest, playing in red at a ground that I completely adore. Simple as. Anyway, Stephen Lambert, there are a lot of mouth-watering ties in the Europa League. I will take that any day, and that's why with Chris Wood, mate. Honestly, God's honest truth. It was leaked on TalkSport a couple of days ago that he's on 100k a week at Forest. Chris bloody Wood. Just going through the rest of the comments. Robert Sloan, it's totally clear out in the summer. Klopp we trust totally. That's my beef, mate. My beef is these people wanting Klopp out. They're not even prepared to give him the summer with a budget to sort it. 600 million on a mid-table team, and now to top it off, they've got Lampard back. Yeah, I've just seen the news they've got Lampard back. It's unbelievable, that is. But I suppose it'll steady it. They're not going to get relegated. I think there's 9 points separating them from the next position down. So I think, yeah, it's a steady Eddie in it to come in. And it's quite clever, really, from Frank Lampard, because if he does well, say if he wins 8 out of his last 10 games, it puts him in the window for a Premier League job. So I think he's done really well there, Lampard, to get himself back in that window. Then Manx have been in the Europa League 3 seasons out of the last 6. That's my point. Scott, you've just hit the nail on the head there. A club that has spent £1 billion, right, on players and gets 76,000 at every home game, spends the most money on wages, has still been in the Europa League for 3 out of the last 6 years. Some of the players are burned out with the amount of matches they've played. Totally agree, Robert. Sam Edwards, I agree with you, mate. All right, Scott Williams, mate. How you doing, pal? Hope you're well. So, listen, I'll be back doing my Arsenal preview tomorrow after work. I've just been quite busy. For those that know me personally know why I've been busy the last couple of weeks. But, yeah, so I'll be doing my preview videos for Arsenal, and the last 10 games of the season is going to be 10 cup finals. And I keep saying this, I'll never stop believing, because I know that Liverpool can do this. Liverpool could easily win 10 in a row. I know we don't look like it, but I just think we did it against. Remember when we lost all of our defence? We had Reece Williams and we had Nat Phillips playing. Where did that run come from? Nobody could see that coming. People just totally forgot about it. The only reason why I think Liverpool could still have a slight chance of top 4 is 2 reasons. 1, because we have 6 games out of the last 10 at Anfield, and 2, because Tottenham are one of them. And Tottenham, with no manager, I just really do think that they can take it off the ball. And if not, Europa League it is, and I'll be still looking forward to the draw, because I'll probably be going to most of the games next season because there'll be plenty of tickets. Because, like I said, the Glory Hunters won't be jumping on the bandwagon. But anyway, I hope you're all well, and I'll be back tomorrow with my Arsenal preview. You'll never walk alone.